This segment of the Sports Narrative Radio Show is backed by Xena Communications. Internet, Wi-Fi, IT, cloud services, and security cameras. Get connected in your home or office today. Call or click for your free consultation in the DFW area.
They also highlighted that this was right about the time that New York was starting to look into it and all of these things, which are things we've discussed. You can see those clips on the YouTube channel.
So CFO Matt King said that it's 20 to 30,000 people daily were signing up for FanDuel.
Yeah.
And about a little over half of their participants under the age of 30. And that was one of the things that it started off with immediately. They went to Bryce Morrow, who was a junior at DePaul University.
Right.
Not DePaul.
Yeah, it's
Anyway, and this is a guy who, like I mentioned, I said, hey, yeah, you do have players who are playing a lot of daily fantasy. He said he was playing anywhere from 400 to 500 games a day on FanDuel.
Yep.
But he spends 4 to 5 hours of prep work. He's using a lot of those lineups. It is. Spent $12,000 in one morning, lost $18,000 the night before. And then on the one day they were doing where they were going over the baseball games, and if you play daily fantasy, you know that you can play the day game slate and the night game slate. You can also play all games at once. He won $11,000 on the day games, lost $6,000 on the night game, so it was plus $5,000. If you have the money to play that much, then okay, great. I'm certainly not spending when I play thousands of dollars. I'm not spending hundreds of dollars, even dozens of dollars. It's about $45.
And that is one of the big cruxes. But the other interesting part of this, like when you watch the documentary, so they start off with the Morrow guy, and they're telling his story, and how he's a normal college kid, but basically, as opposed to having a part-time job, this is his job.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike a part-time job where, you show up to work and they pay you money at the end of it.
Yeah, your expenses are gas, maybe a uniform.
Right. This is, you could lose your ass massively. Overall, documentary ends, your general thoughts.
Well, the one thing
because I want to set up for the listeners, as we've always talked about this, you and I are on very different opinions of this. I said this was gambling from the second I saw it. And you said, no, it's really not. And we've kind of talked more about it as it's gone along, and you've kind of come to the opinion of, yeah, maybe it's gambling, but why isn't this legal?
The thing that really made me pause and think was the end of the documentary when they brought it all home.
Yep.
And they were interviewing a guy named Josh Adams.
Yes.
Who was a self-admitted gambling addict.
Yes.
And he had lost $20,000. They interviewed another man who they basically kept him private because he didn't want his name getting out and ruining his career.
Right.
He lost $60,000 to $65,000.
Yep.
He's a guy, again, in his 20s. I think Josh Adams was like in his late 20s, early 30s.
Right.
And that was the big thing they were saying is, listen, you got a lot of – and that was the Dr. Jeffrey Deravinsky, who worked with the Attorney General of New York, Eric Schneiderman.
Yep.
That they were looking at, is this a gambling addiction? More importantly, is it targeting people in their early formative years, your late teens, early 20s.
Yep.
When you really don't understand how to even balance a checkbook for a lot of reasons.
Well, and you get that one credit card that the colleges all hand you.
You get 6.
That you have a 21%.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. That a lot of people run up crazy amounts of debt,
Yeah.
and that's just surviving. That much less.
Oh, not even that. You'd be like me, who I got a credit card and I put a little 20-game Rangers ticket package on it. I bought all my Christmas gifts and everything. And I remember the first time I went to the store and swiped the card and said, and I'm like, what do you mean? I get plenty of space in this thing, and I go home and to get the bill in the mail, and sure enough, man, I'm maxed out.
Yep.
Out of nowhere. Because again, you don't realize that little $5 purchase here and $10 here and $20 here adds up real quick.
And then you got a 21% interest rate, and you're paying that thing off until you're in your 30s.
And so you got guys, like I said, and the one guy said it was 60, 65K. That was all on like an Amex card.
Yeah.
So this isn't just going away. This isn't petty cash.
No doubt.
So that gave me pause. But ultimately, in the end, I come back around and say, well, that's their problem. That's that individual's problem. We get a point where we try to overregulate a lot of different things because we're trying to cut out people from failing from their vices. And it's one of those things where it works on both sides of the argument. You have a lot of things like, for instance,
Well, and the biggest argument that a lot of people make on that same point is when you talk about addiction and that kind of thing is drugs. And people say, well, alcohol is legal, but we just regulate the way people use it.
Yeah.
So you don't use it while you're driving, you don't use
Exactly.
it in public, blah, blah, blah.
Marijuana.
A lot of people
let's legalize marijuana because I think we've done enough studies and everything, and we know that it's not like, reefer madness was a crap.
Right.
Right. So again,
but when you do that,
you're not going to legalize heroin.
Why not?
Because heroin can kill you instantly. No, that's totally different.
If you OD on it, that's on you.
But that's totally different when you're
Is
talking about, because you're not going to die from daily sports gambling. Worst case scenario, you may have to declare bankruptcy. They don't come and throw you in jail. They don't lop your head off, right?
Unless you get in with the wrong crowd.
Find more by subscribing to this channel and visiting us at www.thesportsnarrative.com. Join us every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central for a live edition of the Sports Narrative Radio Show hosted by Xena Communications.